Greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again on another video. I always appreciate your presence. Ouch! 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 Thank you for joining me, friends. Ow! Let's melt more into being. Hey! 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 Stop hurting me! Stop hurting me! Stop it! Stop! Stop it! I'm like trying to keep her jaws from closing on my fingers. Hold it tight. Ouch. Okay. Let's read something worth saying, shall we? I'm gonna be so distracted again. I feel like 50% of my mental faculties get directed straight to her, or at least the tending of her when she gets on my lap. I can't focus at all. Already read these pages. You only experience what you have chosen to create, like dropping pebbles into the field of your awareness. Everything is a web of relationships. We've already read some as well. Awareness is all that you have and all that you are. Isn't that a great one? Awareness is all that you have and all that you are. I want to sit with that one a little bit. Awareness is all that you have and all that you are. Like I'm trying to think of like other creatures as well. Like I'm trying to think of this little doge on my lap eating my pashmina right now. Like she is just this little awareness as well at the end of the day, right? Infinitely aware of what she's doing. Man, all that you are is the awareness that you are. Yeah, man. I actually want to read another one. I love feeling this way. Like as soon as I get into this mindset and I just want to keep going, you are what you create. By deciding which vibrations you will allow to settle and become a part of you. Yeah. Yeah. That's also true. Like at least in the way that I think about it, it's like this practicing of energy, right? If you're practicing looking at things that upset you, you're gonna get really good at getting upset. If you're practicing looking at stuff that doesn't upset you, that uplifts you, stuff that makes you happy, if you're practicing creating art, you're practicing growing in your ability to articulate, regardless of what it is you're practicing, you're gonna get good at it. So kind of take a step back, look at what it is you're doing in your life, and ask yourself, do I want to be good at these things that I'm doing? Hey, yeah there, good day. Estian, how was your day been so far? My day's been really good, friend. It was really good. Like we had a nice dance session this morning. Oh, she's settling down. Little packet of joy. We had a really good dance session this morning. And then while I was still dancing, Uncle Becky asked me if I want to hop in a call after I'm finished dancing. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind to. Finish the stream, hopped in the call, had a bit of a chat. Mammy joined, Goop joined, or Gob Nugget as his Reddit profile is. Aunt B joined. And it was just like a really fun time having chats with so many different people. Like it was me from South Africa, Mammy from Ireland, and then Aunt B, Uncle Becky, and Gob from America. And we were in this chat room / video call together, like sharing art and having good conversations, and it was just such a blessed time. So afterwards, I spent some time actually meditating as well. Man, I feel like I'm pulling blanks. Why am I pulling blanks? Forbidden knowledge. So, like, this is actually something I do want to tell you. This is something that me and my friend used to do. Well, I mean, I guess we would still do it if I were to see him again at some point. But if we were like talking about something and we lose the words or we feel like forget our train of thought, we just kind of chalk it up to its forbidden knowledge. We weren't supposed to know it right then, so we couldn't articulate it because it was not supposed to be articulated, you know. Obviously, it's just a joke. It's us failing in keeping our train of thought, but it is fun to think of it in that way. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Sounds amazing. It was a good day, friend. Man, like I genuinely feel like there's time missing. Now that I feel like I'm looking back. Is there time missing? It's probably because I spent a good deal of time talking. Had a phone call with my friend as well. While I was like technically in my meditation time. And like he called me because he went on a date recently. And like he hasn't seen this girl that he went on a date with like in 7 years. So they both like changed significantly as people over the last bit. And with their reintroduction to each other, they had a lot of things in common. You know, like a lot of things. And the date ended up with gosh, I don't know if I should be sharing, but I'm sure you'd be okay with it. Like of a good night kiss, right? It went really well for my friend. And just being able to celebrate that with him, you know, being genuinely happy with him because of this date that went as a success, you know, it just makes me so happy. Like he genuinely deserves someone in his life. Like he's been through so much. He's experienced so much. And he's such a loving individual that it's very difficult for us to find someone that can love us in the way that we want to love another, right? And he was in a relationship not that long ago, like maybe now 8 months ago, and the breaking up of or the disbanding of this relationship was something that was pretty devastating to him and something that he felt like he wouldn't recover from. And here he is, recovered, right? I mean, not here, but he has recovered, and so like it makes me so happy to know that. I like your hair. I can never comment because you usually stream on the You Show, but I've been sitting on that compliment forever. Thank you, friend. I usually do stream on the You Show. Interestingly enough, there's another friend that can't comment on distant socializing, but can comment on the You Show. So like I've been conscious about that as well, and I've been like switching back and forth so that she may be able to comment. And here you are, being able to comment now that I'm streaming on distant socializing. What are you fiddling with? This is a little marijuana buds, and I'm putting them in my grinder with the most surgicals of precisions, if you will. Doing it with all of the love in my heart. I'm like breaking small little stems off because I don't want those in my final product. I'm just being very intentional with it, you know. I don't have a place to be. I'm not rushed. I'm just going to melt into this experience, if you will. I was asked again today. Like I kind of went on a spree of like answering messages and stuff. Like what does melt more mean, you know? And man, like that question feels like it gains more and more weight in my mind as well. What does it mean to you, friends? Like when you hear the words melt more, what does it make you feel? What does it make you think? Like I can't exactly do a poll, but I'm really curious about your friends' feelings on it. Interpretation of it, I think, is a better word. Mary Jane's, yeah, Mary Jane's. Sorry, that's my dad. He's like literally, and I knew this was gonna happen as well. He spent the entire day watching TV shows, The 100 to be exact. And now that I happen to be like literally as I was starting to get ready to stream, I see him outside, like getting ready with like an axe or something. And then I walk past it and I hear him starting to like beat on something again, and I'm like, okay. Seems we're gonna have a noisy stream. And you know what? I'm so okay with it these days. You know, if this is gonna be the way it's gonna be, then so be it. I don't mind anymore. Can you introduce your dog? I mean, she's sleeping, yo. I'm gonna have to pick her up, animate her, pretend like no. I'm gonna let her like keep sleeping, friend. Her name is Kiki. She is a Jack Russell. She is about 10 weeks old. And she is both devil and angel incarnate. An absolute little blessing. How cool. I'm very happy for the both of them to find each other again in a new way. I'm also so happy for them. Like I'm just hoping that it's a real one, you know, to say it in the most blunt of terms. Because I know that friend of mine. I know the way he is. I know the way he thinks. He's also a little bit of an extremist like myself. I shouldn't be saying stuff like that. When I say I'm an extremist, I mean I do things to the extreme. And he does as well. Including relationships, right? If you're gonna be in a relationship, commit fully to that relationship. No use in doing things half-assed. So, like he's gonna commit to this whammon fully, 100%ly. So I hope that she is ready for something like that and can facilitate or reciprocate that energy that he's about to put out into the universe as well. Hells yeah indeed. Treat that medicine with kindness. You are Meltmore. That is right, friend. Thank you. That is right. Namaste to you as well, friend. Or namaste, right? I've actually been very cautious and curious and one more C word. Conscientious of how I say namaste, right? Because it's not namaste, it is namaste. At least that's how I understand it. Hey Kaval, you're here as well, my friend. Thank you for the love, friend. Coming together and sharing our uniqueness with each other and elevating others that are in need. That's perfect, Yader. And I feel like that's the thing as well. So I think the reason I'm asking about the whole Meltmore thing is because I don't want it to be something that is just me, if you will, right? Like I feel like that should be something that it can be considered one of those us things, right? Like we are a part of this thing that is Meltmore. More and more and more and more, right? If we're a part of this thing that is planet Earth or universe, then we can be a part of more things as well, right? Thank you for the love, Gaval. Wagjob Philosopher speaks highly of you, sir. Wagjob Philosopher Scorpio of Scorpio is an absolute fantastic human being as well. Man takes a second to think about things, and I respect that about him. I don't just respect that about him, I actually admire it and slightly envy it. I feel I don't have the same capacity to just sit and think about something as he can. My spirit brother. Indeed we are, friend. I'm so happy you're joining us, Kaval. I know it is more than that, but that is the quick of the hip definition. That's perfect, Yader. I appreciate you co-creating with me, friend. Kaval, the narcissistic poet. You're getting called narcissistic, Kaval. What does that even mean, dude? Narcissistic means to be obsessed with the self, right? I think if anything, Kaval is just obsessed with ultimate self. Not with his self, just with the ultimate self. And in his work, he tries to, be that ultimate self in his creations. So sometimes to some people, that can come off as you being narcissistic or egotistical. But in reality, It's just an expression or a practicing of energy. I have not written down my intention yet. We are using a little cannabis filter again today, or cannabis wood filter. And our intention is because of Kaval and because of the thing that you said about narcissism. I'm gonna be writing the, and then with a capital S, capital E, capital L, capital F. The self, right? And this self that I'm talking about is the same the self that each and every single one of us are, right? This I consciousness, the experience that we have, that we are, right? That is something that permeates all of existence. It's not something that we are uniquely equipped to experience. So we're gonna be practicing that energy today. All right, thank you, Kaval. I appreciate you joining us, man, and another friend co-creating with us in that way. I am. How are you today? I hope it's well. I'm balanced like that, in the middle of it all, dancing on the fence, chaos and control. Absolutely, Kaval. That's the way, right? One term, Donnie, just poet. Would it have worked? Lol. Has to be narcissistic poet, dude. Just poet is too bland, dude. Need more masala. Need more spice to try and capture you. Like that's the thing as well. Like trying to sum someone up with 2 words like that, or 3, the narcissistic poet. Impossible. Impossible. You can't sum somebody up. Can't capture them in a few words. In the same way that the word water isn't wet, the word kaval doesn't contain what kaval is, right? The word Meltmore can't contain what we are either. But it can be an expression. It can be an expression, okay. Like I feel too much information, but I feel my saliva is too dry, so I'm gonna take a sip of water. If our intention for smoking today is the self, my intention for drinking water is going to be humility. Because I want this to be very clear. I don't think of myself as the self, right? All I am saying, if anything, is that we're all that self. As divine expressions of God. As characters in a play. As figments of imagination. Man, I don't know anything. I don't know anything, and I'm okay with that. Why have my eyes lately been making me socially awkward? Like I overanalyze people in social settings. Have you ever felt like this? That's basically how I always feel, friend. That's basically how I always feel. I feel like the reason we do that is because we're trying to process, right? We're trying to problem solve our awkwardness, and then we try and like problem solve our awkwardness by telling ourselves like, oh, like we're high, so must be because we're high that things aren't working in the way that they are. But the way that I think about it personally is that because of the state of mind that you're in, you're experiencing a different state of consciousness. And it's difficult sometimes to communicate that state of consciousness to someone who isn't like actively experiencing that state of consciousness, right? You can't explain color to the perspective or to the point where they can understand what it is you're talking about to a blind person. And I feel it's the same thing with like being an experience. Like I'm curious as well now, in these social situations, are you smoking with other friends as well? Because I've had that as well, you know, feeling socially awkward with people that are smoking with me. And I feel like that social awkwardness usually comes from me like questioning myself my own behavior and how my own behavior is being perceived by other people. So I'll be like, oh, I'm sitting down and I'm drinking my cup of water. And like that, now I'm like stressing about me drinking my cup of water. Like, is someone watching me drinking my cup of water? Am I doing it weird? Am I not doing it weird? Right? Like now, intentionally doing it weird just for the sake of the antics, right? And then as a result of that, you're like getting into your own mind. You're like fabricating these ideas of separation between you and your friends, while they're probably just like in their own mind space, experiencing their own thing as well. And all you really need to do is be quiet and just feel, you know. I feel like that is like the ultimate antidote to social anxiety for me is I'm quiet and then I'll just listen. I'll just listen to what's going on. I'll feel into this space that is my immediate environment. Oh, beautiful day. There we go. I'm so happy to hear that, Kaval. That makes me really happy, man. Love to hear that, Kaval. Are you getting on stream? Maybe soon. I feel that way in your stream. One term I streamed today a lot, so... One term I streamed a lot today, so I'm wiped out. Plus, I have a podcast to be a part of today. Yes, he does. Kaval is joining us for our podcast tonight. I'm really looking forward to having him on. I missed it. Hint, hint, melt. There is where we talk about the pootie. What? Hint, hint, melt. This is where we talk about the potty? The podcast? Oh yeah. So like I was already doing that, and then I read your message and it confused me completely. So yeah, Kaval is gonna join us for the podcast tonight. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. It's gonna be a divine creation. Either it's just gonna be me and Johan, or it's gonna be me, Johan, and Christian. And Christian is also a poet, dude. And we were actually talking about his poetry again, like with the phone call I had just before stream today, where he told me about, or he read me poetry that he wrote as a 15-year-old, and how almost in this poetry that he wrote, he was predicting things that was going to happen to him in his future, the future that he now knows because it's 10 years later. And it was just a trip talking about that stuff as well. So, yeah, join us for the podcast, friends. It'd be nice to have you on that side as well. Obsessed to the O to the D. Obsessed. But I think Donnie was having fun, I'm sure as well. Melt uses all the fancy smoking gear. The self. The real elf on the shelf. Take a deep breath and delve. Masala. Dude. Let's see the good boy. She's a good girl. And she's sleeping. I'm not gonna pick her up and wake her. Melt, I just want to say your stream is the one place I feel all of us, so many people, can be themselves. Thanks for that. Thanks for sharing that intimate gift. Thank you for sharing your intimate gifts with me, friends. Like, at the end of the day, like, I believe I'm showing up, right? And then the showing up of the rest of our friends is what creates that energy, that field. It's not just me. It's not just me, friend. I agree, Kaval. People can be themselves and be accepted just the way that they are. It's such a special place. Thank you so much, friends. I appreciate you, friends, like your presence here so much as well. Bird, Nani? Good afternoon, Estian. Hey, Kaval. Thanks for reading my daughter your beautiful poem Wednesday, Kaval. Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, Lisa. Thank you for joining us as well, my friend. Are they even talking about drug high? Or endorphin high? There's a difference. Whoa, what was that? I'm curious as well, dude. Like, who are they? Who are the they that you're talking about, dude? I am extremely grateful for the gift as well that Melt has created and giving us a space to give that as well. Like, thank you so much, friends. I feel like I'm in the position where I'm gonna start like backing out. Like, oh goodness, I'm getting compliments. Where do I run? Where do I contract into myself to hide from the beautiful things that are being said to me? Humility. And like, it's not because I don't enjoy or appreciate compliments. It's just that I believe that the love that it is you're giving me, you're deserving of first, if that makes any sense. It's like I want to instantly redirect it, like hold up a mirror, like, oh, here's love coming my way, and, and it goes back right back your way. Receive it twice as strong, if you will, as well. Man, see this, and you see that, kind of. That's a little skin flap. Should probably pull it off. I cheese grated my finger today. Didn't pay attention for a second, talking to my sister, and then I was like, it really hurted it. And then my sister had the audacity of telling me, careful, it's careful. And then she said, careful for the sharp sides. I'm like, oh, thank you, sister, for your divine wisdom. Elisa, how's your Saturday treating you? Yes, dude. Man, like, yeah, I think just give me a little bit of space. You're heating me up a little bit. I'm calming down. I'm calming down. I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. I'm not questioning the nature of what's happening. It's okay. Thanks, Yader. How about you? You have any plans? She literally just came back straight to my lap. Okay, you sleep, little pup. But I love that Kaval Melt conversation. I'm looking forward to it as well. I think like having a direct conversation with Kaval, it is going to be technically our direct one-on-one conversation with one another as well. What? Same, dude. I want to read you guys poetry. There will be opportunity to friend. Joining a friend for coffee in a little bit. But that's about it so far. I'm sure it will be a great day. I'm sure as well, Yader. I mean, like, you should also not feel any obligation to have your day filled with this fantastic amount of happening, for it to be a good day. I hope that your coffee goes super well, friend, and that the rest of your day is absolutely blissful. How do we watch the podcast? So, my friend, I mean, this is going to be like me with a 1-2 call to actions, if you will. We have a Discord. If you really want to see the podcast, we do post the links to the of the podcast on the Discord when they're available, friend. We would love to have you there as well. Looking forward to listening to the podcast. I think it's going to be a good one. What I want is to go deep in all of these conversations. We'll go deep. While we're like talking about this, before I get too deep into another rant, divine mind. No, the self. I mean, interchangeable terms, but the self. That's our intention. The self. This is organic hemp papers. So we're smoking bud using bud paper through a bud filter. Actually doing some weedception today. They said it could not be done. They called me a madman. And here we are. Look forward to listening to the podcast. Same, awesome, have fun. Be well, friend. Thank you so much as well. I love the deep conversations. I had no idea that I wandered in this random dancing stream. I would have such an enlightening time. Who would have known? Crazy dude dancing. A few months later, enlightening conversation. Who are we to say what colorate? What colorates? Why can't I say that word? Correlate. What correlates to what? Who are we to say at the end of the day? My bad English, maybe it correlates to me smoking bud. Maybe it correlates to me overthinking words, especially when I have a hard time saying them. Maybe it has something to do with me being Afrikaans as a first language speaker. Maybe I'm just making up excuses for my own stupidity. Sorry, I've been lurking lately. It's been a tough week with my parents. I'm sorry to hear that, Lisa. We're here with you, friends. If you want to talk about any of it, do feel free to reach out. I wandered in and whoa. I hope your day is going well, everyone. When it rains, it pours. Thank you, friend. My day is going well. How about yours? I was talking about. Oh, okay. When it rains, your comment is lag is also what I love to get rid. What? When do the podcast we can talk real time? That's true. There will be significantly less latency between something being said and then you being able to co-create as a result of that. Mm-mm-mm. Just so you know, the love we show to you is a reflection of the love you have given us. It does go both ways. You praise us too, my friend. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Yader. Like, dude, I appreciate you more than you know. Genuinely, like, thank you so much. Do you have any favorite spiritual teachers, philosophers, authors, etc., that greatly impacted your life? Not so much that greatly impacted my life, friend, but people that I look up to, if you will, is Alan Watts, Terence McKenna. Hmm. Like I wanna call like some of the old like Stoic philosophers as well. You know, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, Socrates. But like I'm feeling like especially Alan Watts and Terence McKenna have helped me at least in my own journey to entertain and practice the thinking of like ideas that are out of my casual reach, if you will, right? Like I grew up in a very strict orthodox what's the other word, traditional conservative, there we go, conservative Christian family, where the ideas that we just like discuss on these streams usually aren't even subject matter, right? Not even subject matter that people will entertain, never mind like have a intellectual conversation about. So when I found these philosophers like Terence McKenna, like Alan Watts, and by listening to the things that they were saying and feeling for myself what that in the things that they were saying, whether or not it was true, and like taking from that experience, taking from my own personal experience, instead of just taking what the church and what my parents has been giving me my entire life. Like it definitely was a shift in understanding for myself. So maybe they did have a great impact in my life after all. What are those loud noises? It's my dad firing a firearm, dude. Like he drove a few meters away, but he's still firing the firearm. Like I wouldn't have had a problem with it if he has been busy like the entire day and now he had to go and do that. But like he's literally been watching TV shows all day. And as I stand up and I get ready to stream, that's when he tries to go and fire his like weapon. Inconsideration. Is that even a word? Being inconsiderate? You have committed an inconsideration. We find you guilty. Why is it so difficult? Just to not. Oh, I'm not gonna trip out anymore. Dude, dogs hate loud noises. Yeah, dude, she's like every time the gunfire, she was like up and listening to what was happening. That was cutest thing ever. Watch that dog crawl right back. Yeah, like she wasn't having me putting her down. She was like, "Nah, dude, I like it. I like it here." and she probably knows what's happening. Join us on the Discord, Mel. Let's put mine to Weedception, the Weedception Yater. Because why not? Why not indeed, friend? Uh, what other ways do you smoke? Do you have water pipes, vapes, concentratrix, etc.? So, no concentratrix, no vapes. I have a bong, and I have a pipe that I've made for myself. And then I have what I call a one-hitter chillum. It literally has a bowl the size of the top of that nug. The entire bowl is that big. And then I have a normal chillum that is like about the size of this Garrick, right? Like at the end of my finger. Like that's the bowl size. And that's all my smoking apparatuses, if you will. I do plan on getting myself a vape eventually. And I'm not sure if I want to get into the smoking of concentrates. Not because I think there's anything wrong with it. I just feel like it is a little bit almost too direct. Does that make sense? Because what I believe about humility, what I believe about smoking marijuana as well, and the way that I try and do it, is I do it with a lot of intention. And you can, I guess, do the same thing with smoking concentrates, but where with the joint, I like literally write down, man, there's so many noises happening around me, and it's using my brain up. Like there's cows moving on that side, and I hear people talking inside the house. Okay. The mind, the self, the body. Okay. Man, there's so much happening around me. I'm just gonna close that door. So, to you friends that don't know, like I just want to make this clear as well. I have tinnitus, so like a constant, like 2,222 hertz, basically is what I've like narrowed it down to. Hertz wave, like low pitch, screams in my ear, and because of that, like I'm basically constantly in this like mind wave, tuned into this like thing. And if like there's external noises or excessive external noises to the point where it's jarring to me, it like literally like jars my train of thought. Like I'll be thinking about something, trying to articulate something, and then noise kind of gets thrown into my mind space, and it's like, what the fuck? What are we supposed to do with this? And then I lose my train of thought. If that makes any sense. Anyway, so when we smoke, we write intentions down, or we set a direct intention for every single time we like take a puff, and for the very first time that we actually roll it as well. So you can see on that little Gary paper there's a message. And the message for today, or the intention for today, is to think about the self, you know, the ultimate self. The self that is present within each and every single one of us. So now, every single time I take another puff of this, I'm trying to remind myself and think about it again. You know, the self, the self. And my intention for drinking water is humility. And I feel, you know, the repeating of these ideas is like the firing of that pattern in my head. And it allows me to, every single time I remind myself of humility, now I've had this, like, be it just the amount of the stream, be it the amount of my life, of prior information based on this word humility. And then I can continuously co-create based on the things I've learned already, be it right here in the stream. Also, Weedception. Yeah, the Weedception, dude. STM, the mad scientist. Are you religious to a point? Were you religious to a point? Yeah, like for most of my life. Is that true? Yeah, it is. Technically, it's still true. I stopped being a Christian when I was 13. So yeah, like technically for most of my life. And then like after I like basically in my 13th year in grade 7, I started asking questions that people couldn't answer. And because my pastors couldn't answer my questions and they kind of answered my questions with stop questioning, right? I was like, seems sus. Maybe I should not believe what these people are telling me. So I stopped. I feel like something was bothering you today. That sucks that he chose to do it during your stream. Yeah, that's what's bothering me, Yader. Because, like, I think the part that bothers me really is the fact that I'm predicting it at this point. You know, like it's one thing that it just kind of happens. It's like when I see a pattern of behaviors, like I see the pattern of sitting and not doing the thing that's going to disturb me, and then as soon as I start preparing to do what it is I'm going to do, I like see this urgency almost, right? And I see in that urgency that there is going to result in that something that's going to be malicious towards what it is I'm doing right now, you know? And it almost feels like I'm doesn't help. Doesn't help. It doesn't help because at the end of the day nothing can be taken away from me. It's still my choice how I'm going to react. Nothing can be taken from me. No matter what happens, it does not have the ability to squeeze from me the great gift of my awareness. If you were religious, how did your beliefs change? My beliefs changed from this idea of I'm trying to protect myself, right? By believing in this like Christian God that has this like deity attached to it that is Jesus, and then having given my soul to this Jesus character was the only time that I could earn this afterlife. But in doing that, I forgive myself of all of my sins. So no matter how sinful of a life I live, I get to say a string of words and then earn this, perfect afterlife. I get to protect myself, like signing a contract, like a verbal contract that I sign in the middle of the air before I die, and then things are going to be good. And I feel like that's trying to protect yourself. You're literally putting like a shell on your own experience, on your own life, and on your own capacity to experience things for yourself, to learn lessons for yourself, to form just any understanding of a topic out of your own learned experience from that, instead of just accepting. Maybe it's just the rebel in me that doesn't want to accept information outside of myself, but I feel there's so much value to be had in letting yourself answer questions that you have, especially when it comes to questions of your own nature. Like going external from yourself to find questions about yourself is a futile, it's such a futile attempt. And like I can go into the other side of it and say, like, we can't know ourselves to the same effect that water can't drown itself, fire can't burn itself, the sun can't blind itself, like something like that. All the more reason to not consult anything outside of it. The sun isn't gonna ask something outside of itself why it's shining so brightly. It doesn't need to do that. Concentrates are convenient, but the ritual of preparing it, setting an intention, etc. are just as much fun as smoking it. You miss that with concentrates. You see, that's what I'm thinking as well. Like, the thing is, like, I'm thinking of PBGB's setup. He has, like, a nail that goes, like, on his little pipe, if you will, and then he just takes, like, his little concentrate pots, tips it around, and then he, like, just kind of hits it with this little nail, and it evaporates. It looks really convenient. It looks nice and convenient. I wouldn't mind doing that, but I wouldn't like get into doing that, if you will. It's time. It is time, friend. I agree as well. Like a gunshot, yeah. I really appreciate you sticking through my poems. My voice range is very erratic, sporadic. I know, dude. It's a part of what makes you you. I give $2 when you hit. I give $2 when you hit. Okay. Yay! I'm getting $2. Pay up, bitch. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Maybe I meant a little bit. I'm joking. Go fuck yourself, hippie junkie. Because I'm your dad. Would you like to suck? Yeah. Yeah. KK. KK. And Morgan. What do you have there? I'm gonna steal something from her. Be like, no, what are you doing? Apparently, avocados have a toxic substance in them that dogs get nauseated by. And our avocado is dropping. Avocado tree is dropping avocados. And to her, they're just like toys. Everything is a toy. Mikey, my friend, stay awesome. Thank you, friend. I will if you do too. Humility. Why so negative? I'm also curious. Truth. I'm happy you appreciate it as well, friend. Would you like a hug? Hello, Milaweni. Great to see you, friend. Hey, Donnie, Mary. It's nice to see you as well, my friend. Thank you for joining us. I wonder if there's any information being conveyed with their moves. Like, do they have tones in their moves that convey different sets of information? Or is it just a reminder of the fact that they are? Right, it's like a scream into the abyss. Like you open your eyes for the first time and the first thing you do is you scream. Is that why they scream? I don't know. Man, like I'm feeling some way today. Hey little bear. It's nice to have you here as well, friend. I'm really feeling some way. I think the biggest thing is like I feel such a sense of disconnect, with my family. I feel like we don't have things in common. Like we don't understand one another. We don't agree with one another. And that's not something that's necessarily enjoyable. No. Like especially because it's something that I believe at least it's something that should be one of the most valuable things in your life. Your family. But it's almost like, and again, like I'm feeling so many contrasting feelings, like contradictory, paradoxical, whatever you want to call it, where I feel like there isn't the same amount of respect and love and communication and intention in action towards me than I try and put towards them. And then in the same breath, I understand that I shouldn't expect of people to be the same way that I am towards them. That would be unrealistic. But I don't know where the line is that we should draw, Where is it that we decide that we've given enough, And I in the same breath, I also don't feel like I ever have given enough. So it's this very weird feeling of I'm hurting myself by overextending into something that is futile and hurting myself by imagining not trying as well. What are we supposed to do about that? Hey Simon, you're catching me in a little bit of a low wave today, dude. Don't feel that great. don't feel that great. You know what? That's all right. Humility and the self. Hmm. Hmm. Now I'm thinking something. So, like, we can do some thought experiments, right? So, if you can, for a moment, imagine the real, ultimate self, the self, like all capital letters, the self. Do you think within this self there will be humility? I don't think so. Because if you're the ultimate being, the only being as well, is there anything to be humble about? Hmm? Is being humble then something that divine mind misses out upon? No, obviously not, because here we are, but maybe. Man, I love thinking about stuff that I can't understand. What's up, young tyrant? Nice to see you as well, friend. Fast, they are supporting you financially. They want you to fly because they know you're capable and intelligent. My friend, like, I haven't been supported financially, you know, at least before this, for 2.5 years. I was flying, if you will. I was living on my own, doing my own thing. Like, that's not the problem right now. It's more, like, the thing is as well, like, I think I'm gonna go into too many spicy details. How much can I say without saying too much? I just think there's a lot my parents could be doing to ensure the like at least better quality of life for themselves in their later years, and yeah, yeah, that's it. It hurts when you feel like you know what, too spicy. I'm gonna get emotional if I talk about it. What's going down? It's just a disconnect, man. It feels like a disconnect. Can you find ways to make your family members feel important? People want to feel important. Hmm. You're very right with that, Yater. Like, I make it very clear that every single one of us are important. But I'm trying to now analyze my behavior and my reactions to things as well from that perspective. Because I feel like in myself, like in the scenarios I'm running, like some of the scenarios I'm running, I feel very disingenuous with the things that I feel I'm saying. I don't know if like this is just me, but you can like plan out, you can imagine yourself in different scenarios and the conversations you'll have in those scenarios to like achieve this goal of making someone feel more important than you have been making them feel normally, right? So I'm like altering my words in this theoretical scenario, and I feel that in that scenario I'm coming off as disingenuous. Because I do tell my family members that I love them and that they are important to me and that I appreciate what they've done for me in my life and how they have helped shape me to be the person that I am. Should I be doing more than that? Is what I'm questioning now. And how can I really like genuinely do more than that while also staying authentic? That necklace is fire. Yeah, literally. Actual fire necklace. Man, I'm trying to crack myself up, but I feel like I'm both the old man, the upset old man, that is like grungy and being like, hmm. And I'm trying to be the rambunctious youth. And the old man part of myself isn't having it today. It's because I'm just tired. Man, man, I feel so exposed. Oh, when people feel important, they tend to agree and vibe with you. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Man, you're really making me think, Yater. Thank you, friend. Uh, when they don't, a disconnect tends to happen. Not saying this is the solution, but just something to ponder. I've been pondering, dude. Makes me think a lot. Parents are not perfect. Nobody is perfect, friend. Like, I'm not even talking about just my parents. I'm talking about the relationship I have with my siblings as well. We don't have a bad relationship, by any means. But I feel like almost the crux of the problem and the biggest divide between us is religion, theology. Because they believe, like, it's a we believe this, you believe that type of mentality, you know? And I feel like that's possibly what is the biggest breaker of religion. In religion and in preaching, you're like basically coming from a place of saying you are doing all of these things incorrectly, and if you continue doing these things incorrectly, you're going to have this eternal like damnation at the end of your existence, right? You're going to have this ultimate punishment. That doesn't work, right? Doing anything like that with humans doesn't work. Threatening harm, threatening war doesn't work. You win a lot more people over with like fancy dance moves, with quick hands, with little shenanigans, because people like being entertained. It's the whole like to love into a situation versus to go into war with that situation. To bring yourself to that place in a genuine way where you can understand that the things that you are communicating about, or the fundamental understanding of the things that you want to communicate about, is the same essence. Religion can't work because you're stating these factual ideas. And when you're stating these factual ideas, there's going to be room for debate because we can't know anything in religion. All we can know is that we should live excellent lives right now in this moment. To stop trying to run away, to stop shielding ourselves, stop trying to protect ourselves, from the great expanse that is our consciousness, that is our awareness, that is just life in general. Man, the fact that religion separates people should be a clear indicator that it's not something that can work. Keep your head up, keep trying, never stop fighting for the love between you and your family, and one day I believe you will connect. There's no lack of love, friend. Like that's not the problem, fortunately. There's no lack of love. There's only a at least in my opinion, I don't love them any less for thinking of me as other, right? But the feeling of being other is something that can be hurtful to the self, if you will. because I'm not other. We're all just the all, like that. And I know that at the end of the day as well. And I feel maybe that's why it hurts the most. Is because I realize and I understand that I'm not separate, not from this earth, not from you, friend, watching right now, not from this very thing I'm sitting on, not from the air that I'm breathing and the trees around me and the birds, chirping into my ears and the cows moving in the distance. I'm not separate from any of these things. I'm literally made up of the same atoms. And if all of these things were to be taken away from me in this instant and I was left in the void of space, I can't continue being. So I will cease to be without all of this as well. Right? So in that understanding, I'm not separate. And then, like, being confronted with information from your family that makes you feel separate. I think that's the thing that hurts, friend. It's not that I don't want to not fight. Like, it's not a lack of love. It's just the feeling of separateness. Feel you, brother. I have a chronic disease and I'm humbled by it every day. Sensei also has a chronic disease and, as he says, is humbled by it every day. I think you would genuinely enjoy his streams, friend, to see just how much a divine being is capable of. Like, Sensei also has a condition where he has these, like, pins or spikes or pains all over his body. If he doesn't, like, his body heats up and then he gets these pains, and if he doesn't sweat, the pain kind of continues. And he gets up and he starts dancing and he starts sweating, and while he's doing this, he's just like big face smiling and like encouraging you to smile as well. And you get to share in this experience that is insane, and he's a genuine inspiration. I appreciate this dedication. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Like, appreciate it. We need to be careful when inner chatter tries to explain things, because then it's monkey mind rationalizing. Words equals monkey mind. Not really, friend. Incessant chatter inside your mind is monkey mind. But words aren't necessarily monkey mind, friend. Because we use our elephant mind, our critical reasoning to form intelligent strings of sentences. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very intellectually stimulating conversations that we're having. It's okay to be tired. We still love, and you're still here with you. Thank you so much, Yader. This too shall pass, and you will become rested and shine on. You can't shine all the time, my friend. I know. I just want to. Like, I genuinely do want to. Hey, Hefty Revenue. Thank you for being here with me, friend. It's good morning to you, yeah. Blessings, side. Blessings to you as well, friend. Busy amount, big facts. After I woke up, my family, friends, and I separated too from the mindset and what we believe. You see, like, it bothers me, busy amount. Like, I don't want to be separated because of a difference in belief. I feel like literally that is the most fundamental thing that can go wrong, possibly, in life. And if that happens as a result of a religion, then, be it cause and effect or not, there's a problem. There's a problem there. And I don't want that to happen. I really don't want it to happen. Thank you for sharing this with us. You being vulnerable with us. Thank you, Yader, for being here with me, friends. Like, I know this can't be easy. I mean, it's not easy for me to do. I can't imagine how hard it must be to watch. Let's feel. Let's just feel. They're trying to save your soul, and maybe you're trying to save theirs too. No one wants the other to be trapped in false belief. Like, I believe their soul's already saved. I do believe they live good lives, and in the living of their good lives, they're going to have a good endpoint to that, if you will, right? But I believe that alleviating the fear of judgment from them, this constant, like, if I do anything that the Bible hasn't said that I'm allowed to do, or enter Bible said thing here, like I'm going to be instantly damned to hell. Like, how can an all-loving, all-creating, all-powerful, all-knowing God create all of our existences and then in the same breath be like, yep, I'm gonna judge you for the thing that I knew we were gonna do, and then I'm not gonna judge you for the thing that I knew you weren't gonna do. And right, it does not make sense to me. So, like, that's the thing as well. Like, I feel it's impossible for us to reach an understanding or a middle ground. Lack of my understanding. What strain are you smoking? I'm smoking on some orange sherbet, friend. Whew. Man, my heart is hurting today. Christian's main goal is to love your neighbor as yourself. Organized religion just confuses this at times. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'll let what I said about the fact that it creates so much separation rest on its own, because that's what it's really about for me. I believe religion has created more separation between people than it has done good for people. Like, I do believe there's a lot of value in the morals that the Christian belief system teaches. Like, the Christian values are great. Like, there should be basic human values. They don't have to be Christian values. But when it comes to some of the more questionable bits about it, and using that as like a defense mechanism or a separating stick, I think is a better visualization of that. Like, this Bible and your self-righteousness as the separating stick, like, I am this, and I'm gonna push you all the way over there. You are that. That is where I think the problem comes in. Absolutely right. I don't know about that. I am 38, legally, mentally disabled, real bad PTSD. I've seen my mother get killed by cops, drag racing on duty. I ain't been right since. Baltimore, Maryland here. Where are you from? You ever seen any UFOs over there in your parts? Hello, beautiful gas. I'm so sorry to hear that, my friend. That is a really intense experience. I'm happy that you are still here. You can still communicate, you can still create here with us. I live in South Africa, friend, and I've not seen any UFOs. But if I see any of them, I'll let you know. Have you seen any UFOs there in Baltimore, Maryland? Do you believe in God, Melt? Yes, I do, friend. In the same aspect that I believe that there is a larger universe than myself. In the same breath that I believe that there is a divine I consciousness to all of us, right? Like, I don't believe in trying to quantify or trying to like box in or label what that God is supposed to be. I think it's too large for my small human brain to understand. Hey Toasty, thank you for joining us. Good morning to you as well, my friend. Very hard, can be. Thank you for the helpful friend. Never an easy way to tackle big challenges in your life. However, you can choose to enjoy the bad times and the good times without diminishing either. I do try and do that, Simon. I do try and do that. Like, I'm being super present for what it is I'm feeling right now, right? I'm not diminishing what it is I'm feeling. I'm not trying to run away from them. I'm not trying to pretend like these things aren't real. I'm being just as here for it as I'm here for the good conversations, the good times, the good experiences as well. Old Testament God is jealous and vengeful, extremely so. Extremely so. And it's scary. It's very scary. Literally told Christians, I know you have heard it about law, but when in fact it is about the heart intent. Yep. Jesus also said that within each and every single human being, there is the kingdom of God. Why would he say something like that? Why would he say something like that? Maybe he had a point. I believe there is a God, but my mind, or part of me, that intelligence part, tells me it's because I really don't know, and I'm scared to also be wrong and end up burning in hell. But I always just say believe, and when and I do get the talk, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you were going with the rest of your message, friend. But I agree with what you're saying as well. Like for the longest time in my life, my religious, like enthusiasm, I guess I can say, was also based on this like fear of like, oh, if I die now, I'm gonna be burning in hell. And like the word hell literally came from this like big pit where people used to sacrifice and go and burn things. So they started associating the word hell with a burning pit, and as a result of that, we formed this idea of hell inside of our minds, that we're going to go to this place where we're going to be burned. And it's literally fear mongering. It's like building your belief system based on this fear of something and then trying to protect yourself from this thing that it is you're fearing. And if you try, and again, I'm saying this now for the second time, when you're trying to protect yourself from something, you are putting a shield up between you and what you're supposed to be experiencing in this life. Instead of like being present for something, right? Like for instance, you're going skydiving, right? One person is like, yeah, I'm gonna go skydiving. It's gonna be the best time ever. Jumps out of the plane. Ah, this is so freaking cool. I'm flying. Ah. Pulls parachute. Ah, this is so cool. Lands on the floor. That was so great, right? That's one person. Second person, I'm gonna die. Oh goodness. I'm gonna jump out of this plane and I'm gonna die. Jumps out of the plane, screams, mind's full of the idea, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm praying because I'm gonna die. Oh, pulls the thing, oh no, my parachute might break, I might still hit my legs and break them on the floor, oh, I'm gonna still die. You land on the floor, oh, I didn't die. That's good. Which experience do you think is gonna be better for you at the end of the day? Right? That's now an extreme analogy that I'm taking for life. Life can be seen as a fucking skydive, right? It's the most chaotic thing. You just get shoved into this world and you just kind of have to find your way in it, right? Living in fear is always going to be worse for you than living in a place of love for something. And like, I'll let that stand on its own. Hey, Taoli, it's nice to see you. Every religion thinks they are the chosen people. Of course they do, because in the the designing of your religion, you are going to be the chosen one, right? You won't make your religion and not be the chosen one. Like if I'm writing about South African religion, I'm gonna be like, and South Africa was the chosen nation, because that's just how it's gonna work. That's just human nature. Hey, again, totally. Silverback Chill, I'm happy you agree. Hey, Aunt B, never late, friend. You were here exactly when you were supposed to be. Thank you for joining us. Feel this, I love you. I love you too, Toasty. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Humility. Smoking on sour banana sherbet in Kush Mountains. Goodness, that name. That sounds fantastic. My sister baked us some banana bread. So, like, I read banana, my mind instantly went to the delicious slices of banana bread that I had a while ago. The kingdom is within us all. I love it. Yeah, friend. Quite literally. Quite literally. Like, this thing that we call heaven and this thing that we call hell is not something that's external from us, right? As nothing is. It is this literal moving of energy, this transmutation, this shifting of perspective, of dimension, of awareness as well, if you will. And like I do believe that there could be representations of hell, but I believe as well that it's going to be completely subjective to what your definition of hell would be for you in a lot of ways. And it's going to be something that you feel you earn for yourself. Again, with what Toasty said about your intent, your heart. Where your heart went and what you did with your heart is going to determine, and you're going to feel that for yourself as well, right? If you question yourself, the way that I've been living my life, the things I've been trying to do for people, the things I've been trying to understand for myself, what I want to do with my life, if you will, Like, is this something that would be bringing honor to life as a whole? Or is it something that degraded, that made life as a whole uglier? And just by answering that question for yourself, I believe you've answered for yourself whether or not you're going to go to heaven. Not because you believe in this like thing that's going to give you heaven, because of that like moral understanding of your own behavior. And like, it's, again, you can think of it as this like infinite loop, right? Sometimes we don't realize, sometimes we do realize. Maybe in not realizing there is something to realize as well. Realize how to not realize things. Your knowledge of the word hell on Hebrew was spot on. Wow, I'm impressed. You won't believe me, Toasty, but do. I do enjoy reading. I love you, friends, so much. Like, yeah, dude. Like, it's something I learned recently as well. It fascinated me, man. Not a lot of people know the origins of a scriptural myth. Like, I think, again, people are so scared of the idea of hell, Toasty, and the idea of like death, the idea of their impermanence, that they completely shy away from this thing. And they shy away from it so far that they'll believe any information that tells them that they can like earn some sort of like one up on this thing that they think of as death, right? And it's such an alluring idea for a lot of people, and that's why people fall into it. We don't have to believe in an afterlife. All we have to believe is that we are, and that this us aring, us being, just the isness of life, if you will, is what is the most fantastic part about it. And we get to hold on to that for as long as we can. And we should appreciate that. Genuinely. Genuinely appreciate it. Not live in fear in that, but genuinely appreciate it. Toasty sir, y'all having a great Saturday. I hope so as well. And you are as well. The death fear is the fear behind all fears. Once it's faced, all other fears melt. You're so right, friend. You're so right. That is like literally, for me, it was the fear of darkness when I was a young child. And then as a teenager, I overcame the fear of death. And yeah, like, I mean, now fear is something that's completely arbitrary to me. What are your thoughts about agnostics? Agnostics is someone who concedes that they don't know whether or not there's a God. I think you'll have to like give me the definition. My friend, I do want to end the stream, not because I want to, but because we have a podcast starting in 29 minutes. So yeah, I don't necessarily believe in hell. I believe our Creator rather teach us sometimes with a little pain. Yeah, so again, what I think of it, it's like this learning of a lesson, right? You can learn in like performing a certain set of actions. Let's say you go around murdering people for your whole life. You can learn through that set of actions that set of action is going to lead to this like experience that is maybe undesirable. And then as you learn from that undesirable experience, maybe there's valuable lessons to be learned from that undesirable experience. And then because of the lessons you've learned there, you can go on to a better experience. And then you can learn from that experience again, how to not make the same mistakes, right? That's literally the process of awakening. I'm super scared of death and after death. One of my worst fears is there's nothing after death, and that it's like sleeping with no dreams. You all know that sleep I'm talking about. You just gone. The worst fear, I mean, is burning in hell wood. So my friend, like, if you know the type of sleep that you're talking about, you know, would also suck to though. That sleep of having no dreams. Do you feel like you had any lack? Any, like, missingness of experience in that dreamless sleep? That dreamless sleep is still something that you were aware of. That's the thing, like that awareness never stops, friend. That's what I believe about death. That awareness never stops. Your channel brings honor, always putting me in a good mood. Doge this, thank you, friend. That That really warms my heart. I'm feeling in a low wave, so the fact that I can make you feel like you're in a good mood, like makes me feel like in a little bit better mood. Every day, my thoughts on what I believe changes, and that's what's awesome. I try to think outside of the box. Outside of the box, that's it. That is a circle. Yeah, friend. Always think outside of the box. Never accept one thing to be true. Always question. Ask questions, dude, and then ask questions about the questions that you've asked. Thank you for the faith in humanity restored. Best space cat ever. Space cadet ever. Hell is a state of mind, and if you live in fear of hell, when you die, you're already in hell. You're in a state of mind preventing you from expressing yourself. Yep, you're so right, Holly. Have a good time on the podcast, sending you energy, positivity, and articulation. Thank you, especially for the articulation. I appreciate it so much, Toasty. Living your life and doing what you're meant to do. This is the way. Like, I genuinely don't see us doing anything else. True Tally. Man, have a great podcast. Thanks for sharing yourself as always. Thank you, Sign, for sharing with me as well, friend. Don't forget a towel. Don't forget to bring a towel to the underworld or to space, of course. It gets sweaty down there. Keep dropping the knowledge. Keep showing up, friend. Keep co-creating with me. I'm not dropping any knowledge other than the knowledge you, friend, share with me as well, or at least stimulate me to share, if anything. Super grateful to you, Mel, and all of you friends here. Thanks for everything. Namaste. Thank you, friends. The only strength fear has is if you believe in it. Perfect. If you get Lucy, no, I said hi. It's a bit here in the past. Goodbye, friends. I'll see you again tomorrow.